All right, let's just dive right into this explainer. Today, we're looking at a deeply relatable experience, something almost everyone has encountered, but honestly, very few actually understand. We're tackling the eye contact myth and the hidden psychology of looking away.
So let me ask you directly, do you ever struggle to look people in the eyes during a really deep conversation? Do you find it just infinitely easier to actually think and process your thoughts when you look away from the person you're talking to? Well, if so, you are definitely not alone. It's actually a completely normal phenomenon.
Section 1. The eye contact myth.
There's this huge, stark contrast between society's assumptions and actual reality here. Society tells us that if you break eye contact, you're insecure, maybe a bit shady, or just straight up disrespectful, right? But cognitive psychology proves the exact opposite. If you're constantly breaking eye contact when explaining something complex, it's actually a sign of a highly active, deep processing mind. Your brain is quite literally trying to protect its cognitive energy.
Section 2. Freeing up cognitive power.
Highly intelligent brains are built for continuous processing. When you make direct eye contact, you're not just looking at someone's eyes. Your sensitive brain is doing so much more. It's simultaneously tracking microexpressions, rapidly decoding subtle body language, and actively analyzing emotional states all at once. This creates a massive, almost overwhelming cognitive load. Your brain is essentially working like a computer, completely maxing out its RAM, juggling all this intense visual data while also trying to hold a complex conversation.
Because your brain just can't handle all of that visual data while also explaining a complex idea, it has to adapt. So first, you look at the floor, or you stare off into the distance. And why do we do that? Well, to temporarily shut down that intense visual input. See, breaking eye contact isn't a sign of weakness at all. It's actually an incredibly clever adaptation that drastically slows down sensory input so you can free up the processing power you need to actually focus, connect concepts, and form those brilliant thoughts. Section 3. The System 2 Thinker. People with high cognitive ability often think faster and in far more layers than a casual conversation usually allows for. Psychologists actually refer to this as System 2 dominance. Basically, it's the psychological preference for slow, analytical reasoning and structured verbal logic, rather than just firing off fast, superficial reactions. Complex ideas absolutely require that essential quiet space to translate layered, abstract thoughts into clear, accurate words. Think about it. When you hold deep eye contact, there's this subtle, unspoken social pressure to react quickly, to just keep the conversation moving at a really fast pace, but your brain naturally wants to pause. Looking away removes that unnatural, immediate social pressure. It literally buys you the time you need to hit pause, analyze the variables, and refine your idea before you even speak.
Section 4. Preventing sensory overload. A lot of people who struggle with eye contact have brains that naturally just don't filter out small details the way other people do. Because you process your environment so deeply, direct eye contact can feel incredibly intense. In fact, it's often described as almost like a physical weight pressing against your mind. Your nervous system gets overloaded much faster than the average person's does, and honestly, that sensation is incredibly real and completely valid.
So what exactly is the solution here? Well, it's really about finding a neutral space, like a blank wall, to just calm down your nervous system. You aren't looking away out of fear or a lack of respect. Staring at an empty corner is simply an automatic defense mechanism. Your mind is actively working to prevent emotional and sensory flooding so that you can, actually stay present and fully engaged in the conversation.
Section 5. The cost of depth.
If you constantly find yourself staring at the ceiling when someone asks you a deep question, I want you to really take this in. You are not disrespectful. You are not awkward. You just have a mind that requires extra space to operate at its full capacity. Your lack of eye contact actually proves that you're giving the other person your absolute best, most complex mental effort, rather than just, tossing them a shallow, rehearsed answer. So I'm going to leave you with this provocative thought to chew on. Are your struggles actually just the cost of depth? If this explainer resonated with you today, please understand that your habits are not flaws. Understanding your mind completely changes how you live within it. So take this insight, reframe your self-perception, and really embrace the fascinating way your deep processing mind works.